Everyone says, dude, what was the biggest experience, that you've learned with everything that happened? And I preach about it in my book and my podcast. I'm always saying, pay your people first, pay your vendors second, right? Then reinvest in the business, then pay yourself. I left tens of millions, if not $100 million on the table, not paying myself distributions for like 5 years. I left it all in the company. So one of the regrets is you better find a way to pay yourself as well, right? Pay your people and you something. Pay your vendors, reinvest. You got to reinvest though. So if you think you need to make $100,000 a month, make 50, reinvest. If you think you need to make 50, make 25. Like you have to do something. I didn't. I kept it all in there and kept the same pay from 18, 19, 20, 21, and 22. And the company went from 40 million to $1 billion in value. And I didn't get paid anymore. So that's mistake number one. Family's like, really? Like it sucks. Okay. 2, you have to protect, block, and tackle. So you have to, no matter how big a company is, you have to have a second option. We always had 2 panels. We always had multiple finance companies. We had 2 racking companies. We had 2 BOS companies. We had everything in 2s, except when we switched from SolarEdge to Generac, we just went all in one. And it was great until it wasn't. And then we were like, oh my gosh, what do we do? And it was like they caught the tiger by the tail. We were done. Like we couldn't fix it. So I always tell people, like, just be proactive in that. Have a second vendor, even if it's one market. You need to protect yourself like that. You can't go in bed all in with something you can't control. Now the lawsuits will all figure it out, and Generac will lose. They've already lost half the value of their company. And $6 billion market cap, and they went from 300 stock price to like 1 and change since we closed. So I know it's done them damage, but there's a huge lawsuit for $1 billion that all our, customers will eventually get something. All the employees we had to let go. Like, I don't think I'll ever get anything out of it. I pray, but I highly doubt it. It's just too big of a number. So we'll see what happens, but they will lose that lawsuit. And that'll be ugly. It'll go on for years. I'm still having to do depositions for it and stuff. And truth keeps leaking out more and more. And people are like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they did this. Oh my gosh. And it's just bad. So I can't believe they're still in the business. But I think a lot of people stay away from them just because of what happened with us, even if they don't think it's all Generac's fault. But I can assure you about 90% of it's Generac's fault. We had our normal problems, but you're always able to manage your problems until a giant problem happens. Then everything gets escalated and you can't keep up. Yeah, and that's what I want to try to prevent people from getting in that position, because that was the worst position. For 5 months, we were in survival mode, and it was just crazy. And we were 2 months away from going public.